Welcome, I'm Claire McLean and I'm a developing artist based in Leeds in the UK, and I decided to try a series of videos about essential colour pencil shades, really what I wish I'd known when I started out. And I thought I'd start with greys. Now, first of all, I thought, well, gosh, that's not very exciting, but actually I think the use of greys is so essential. Even if you're drawing something super light, you're going to, if you're in a realist style, you're going to use some greys. Or if you're going to go really dark, you're going to go light to dark. So you're going to start with grey. So essentially, with colour pencil drawing, if you're going to be drawing something realist, you're sculpting. So tone is essential. And that's where the greys come in. When I started out though, I found it quite confusing. There are so many different brands, and particularly with the greys, the labelling is very different depending on which brand. And even within one brand, there's lots of different shades. And the thing is, choosing the right shade can make or break your drawing because it helps define tone in the right way. So what I thought I'd do is just break it down, clarify it really simply, and then I'll give you my key 5 essentials and some additional wildcards. And I think what I really want to say is there's 3 main categories of greys. So what I was going to do is sketch them out here on this piece of paper. I've organised them slightly by shade and brand. And the 3 categories are warm, so that's this group over here, cool, which is this group over here, and then in between you've got some neutrals. So for the warm, you're thinking warmth, skin, softness, transition. For cool, you're thinking structure, blue light, shadows, concrete, metal. And neutral are really useful because quite often you do want to balance out what you're drawing, and you want to start off with some really good underlays and build it up. So shall we do a little bit of swatching and show you the difference? So just to start with, we've got obviously polychromos here, and we've got the full set of the warm greys 1 till 6. So if I just show you, this side is warm, and we'll start with warm grey 1, which quite often I'll use when I'm just starting to build up and layer the beginning of a drawing, particularly things like muzzles. If you're drawing pets, this is really nice because it gives you an underlayer of warmth. So that's number 1. And you can tell as you obviously go through, you're getting darker and darker. And you can build these up and lay out. The brilliant thing about polychromos is they're hard, and rather than their blendability, it's the layer ability. Is that a word? That they layer nice and solid, and you get to that darker number 6. So your polychromos, I would say you're never going to lose out if you get those, or if you just get a couple of those warm greys, you're doing well. I've got a fondness for the Caran d'Ache Pablos. A friend of mine bought me a set 10 years ago, and I still have them, and I actually replenished some of my favourites. They're sort of in between in terms of hardness, and they never let me down. They've got some great shades, and this is light beige and beige, and they are, again, you can see a little bit different, but they've got that warmth there, which I really like, and again, very, very helpful when you're trying to build up your layers. Moving to the luminance, this is the French grey shades. These are, again, quite warm. This number 10, Again, it's almost like a warm grey too, but it's a lot softer. So it's incredibly good when you're building up your layers and you want to sort of blend, mix things together, soften. That is an incredibly good one, I would say. But they've also, I love the fact they have all these different percents with the luminance, because it gives you a lot of options when you're building up and you can switch between them. This is 50, then the 70%, and then the full French grey, which again I've used quite a lot. It's almost got a very brown feeling to it, a lot more so than the polychromous ones. And then we also have one of the Derwents. I'm not really including many Derwents today. I might do a separate one because their colours, particularly their browns and their greys, are really, really interesting. But I would say I have used this Derwent Drawing Fossil Grey quite a lot. Yeah, it's quite a warm pencil. It's almost got a bit of purple in it. And I would say use these with caution because they are immensely soft. Like very soft, so you do need to be quite careful when you're working on a lot of detail. That's something to layer in a very specific way. And finally, on the warm, you have a whole huge selection of warms from the Prismacolor. And they have both warm grey and French grey. This is where it all starts to get quite confusing because you end up with so many different types of pencil. So if I just take a couple, so the warm grey, they are, I'd say they're a little bit more cool than the luminance, a bit more like the polychromo. And the thing about the prisms is they're super, super soft, so they blend really well, but they don't necessarily layer very well. So the warm greys aren't as brown, but they do have the whole range of the French grey as well, which have a lot more of that sort of brown tinge to them. And honestly, if you're serious about colour pencils, a full range of Prismacolors is not a bad investment to make. Right, moving on to the neutrals. Now, I wasn't quite sure what to do about the Polychromos Payne's Grey, but then I've sort of put it in the neutrals, even though it does have a little bit of a blue tinge to it. I think it's one of those that is so versatile. You can use it in so many ways, and you can see here when you just layer it really softly, it's a great anchor, a real dark. When you're coming to end, when you're coming to finish your drawing, you can do a lot worse than just putting some of this on into your shadows. So it is cooler, but let's put it in the neutral camp for now. You can always disagree with me. And the Pablo Grey, I'd say, is one of the best neutrals. Again, it's got a kind of steely tinge to it. It's more cool than warm, but a fantastic neutral, as is the light grey. I would say, again, a bit cooler, but just such a good in-between kind of pencil, the Pablo. And slightly underrated. You don't hear about them quite as much. Now, if we go to the colds, again, we've got the full range of the polychromos here. Again, if you're looking to start sculpting your drawing and you want it a bit more cool and shadowy, go for the Cold Grey 1 to start with. Absolutely wonderful pencil. I think I've gone through so many of them. And then building up through the numbers, you're going to get more definition as you go. And I think you know, if you're only going to get a couple of polychromos, getting the full range of greys would be a good plan once you start out and you're trying to wonder what you're doing. The Pablos, we've got the steel grey, which is, I'd say, a little bit more blue than the grey and light grey, and the greyish black, which is kind of like the Payne's Grey. Actually, that's pretty neutral. We could put it in the neutrals, the greyish black, I think. And in terms of the luminance, we've got the Payne's Grey series, which again, I think is absolutely amazing. A lot more blue, almost purpley. That 30% is unbelievably good and useful. And then you've got the slightly darker ones as well. And I'd say the full Payne's Grey is as useful as the polychromo Payne's Grey. It's just a lot softer and a little bit more of that really slaty blue than the polychromo. But I would recommend this on top of that one as well. And then we have three really interesting ones. So the Silver Grey I've found I use quite a lot. You'd match it to the coal grey here, but it's more blue and it's almost got a gleam to it. When you glaze with this one, I have to say it is absolutely phenomenal. I would highly, highly recommend that Silver Grey. And the Steel Grey, it's much, much, much more blue than their Payne's Grey. Again, very helpful. And then there's the Violet Grey, which is very purpley, but again, I have used this quite a lot. Now, is that warmer? I don't know, it's slightly different, isn't it? Because it's purple, so let's just put that as a sort of different thing. And I did pick up this Derwent Lightfast as well, the Mist, because again, I think this is brilliant. It's kind of warm. Is it kind of neutral? I think it's more neutral. Again, a very, very helpful and beautiful, beautiful softness to it. And finally, the Cool Grey series from Prismacolor, which, no surprise, is super duper soft. And again, very helpful. And you have an awful lot of percentages with the Prismas as well. So all very good. So I hope you can see from that you've got the more browns here, the more blues here, you've got the more neutrals in the middle, and you've got some slightly different ones, which are also very, very helpful. So how do you pick correctly? I think the key is, what is the light temperature of your drawing? Is it cool? Is it warm? Is it neutral? And you can go from there. Is your subject warm or cool? That's something to really think about before you select the pencils. Thirdly, are you going for softness? Are you going for structure? I think that really helps decide if you're leaning more towards the warm for softness or the cool for structure. I would always recommend starting light and building up. You can always erase as you go there. You're not going in too hard, so you can build up. Every time I have tried to go in too harshly first, I always regret it. It involves a lot of patience. I think colour pencil drawing is about patience. But yeah, I think there's no way around it. If you want a really good realist drawing, you have to start light, and the greys are where it's at for that. And finally, never start with black. Never, never. We've not gone anywhere near black. I mean, Payne's Grey is probably as hard as you're going to go in some of the cold and warm grey sixes. It's too harsh. You can add it in later or at the end. But I think the brilliant thing about greys is it allows you to build. You can build up your texture, you can build up your detail. And that's for anything, not just animals. It's architecture, metal, glass, still life, portraits. Greys are the key, and mastering them and getting the right ones are absolutely brilliant. It will really, really help you. So if you're only going to have 5, what would I recommend? And these are the 5 that I would recommend. I would say where have I put them? I put them perfectly out. Now I've got one. Here they are. Warm Grey 3. Okay, so you've got a lovely, almost neutral, a little bit warmer, and that will help you build up your drawing. And also it's great for transitions as well. It will help blend, it will help keep that softness. Cool Grey 3, number 2. Again, this is about a sort of neutral version of everything that polychromos sets have in their greys, but it will help you structure and give you a little more definition in what you're trying to do. Thirdly, I would say the Payne's Grey 30% is a fantastic one, super soft. It's gonna be relatively neutral and it is gonna blend out some of your edges and give you a fantastic structure with a bit of softness. Fourth is, as I mentioned, how much I love the French Grey 10%. Where has that gone? There it is. It's quite small because I do use quite a few of these. I've got a few of them, and this one's been well used. You can use it sort of almost like a highlight at times as well as a blender. And it's a good one to start off with over the Warm Grey 1. So it'll give you just a little bit more, but also give you a bit of creaminess because the luminants are so soft. It will help you start to build up. And finally, I would say the Payne's Grey, the Polychromos Payne's Grey. Once you start building up, this will be super helpful. And it's really good for things like eyes as well. Once you're starting to kind of define the eyes before you want to go anywhere near a black. But it also, as with all polychromos, they layer so perfectly. You can actually glaze quite nicely with this one. So those are my 5 recommendations of essentials. If you're only going to buy 5, I'd say get these. In terms of wildcards or optional extras, I would pick the Fossil Grey from the Derwent drawing set. I found this gives a lovely, lovely creaminess to fur. But obviously, as I said before, approach with caution because they are so soft. I would also recommend the Pablos. I would say get the whole set, obviously, because I'm crazy. But these 2 greys in particular are very, very helpful. Leaning a bit cool, but a brilliant in between. And finally, the Violet Grey and the Silver Grey from the Luminance. This is very, maybe it is warm. I can't quite make up my mind about this, whether it is warm. It is warm, it is warm. And it's got a lovely, lovely shade to it. I've used that in horse harnesses and fur. And this Silver Grey is just beautiful. And I don't think there isn't a version of this in the polychromos at all, or anywhere else I found. So, I just want to add, finally, that obviously this is just my humble opinion. So do feel free to comment, disagree, agree, add to this. Have I missed anything out that you think, no, of course you should, why didn't you not include the Derwent Light Fast Super Duper Grey that I've never heard of? I'd be really interested to know what you think. However, I do hope that that makes the subject of grey pencils a lot clearer and of interest to anyone starting out in colour pencil drawing, colouring. I think, you know, using greys in colouring is also very, very important and will enhance what you're doing and also make it fun and more dimensional. So if you found this helpful, please do subscribe and comment for more colour realism tips. I'm also looking at doing a full breakdown of my colour pencil collection and also continue this series. I was thinking browns, earths, greens, and anything that you think would be helpful. Thank you for taking the time to watch this and see you next time.